Hello everyone, it's me, Rave, and today I'm going to be doing a Build with Rave episode, and we are going to be building a lovely tower. Now, whether you want this to be like Rapunzel's tower or a wizard's tower, it's up to you, but I will say this took me several hours to record, and I actually love how it turned out. It looks really nice. Especially once you get around to looking at the inside and everything. So, I hope you all enjoy. Okay, so what we're going to start off with, just to begin with, is some cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, crimson blocks, a door, glass panes, some lanterns. We'll be adding some more blocks along the way. Next, we are going to look for a perfect place to plot our tower at. I wanted to put mine near my village, but not quite in my village. So I thought that in this little lake pond area, it would be absolutely perfect. So this is where I ended up putting my own plot. Once you've figured out where you want to put your plot, start building a circular shape to make for the base. Took me a while to figure out exactly what size I wanted my base to be. And it also took me a while to figure out what would be a perfect shape for it, but finally I came to a perfect shape. So once you make the perfect circular shape as big as you want it and to your own perfect look, then you're going to want to build the walls up just a little bit so that you know where you're going to start building up from the bottom there. I also filled in the bottom, or just like one layer below the water, for my own benefit, because I ended up wanting to put in a cellar at some point, but not in this episode. We're just focusing on the build itself. And then after I built up the walls and put in a cobblestone base one layer below the water, then I went to go start making a cross section between the walls, just like a normal cross section out of the mossy cobblestone, and that basically helps us see where we are going to put the rest of the tower dimensions within the circle that we've already built. I wanted to pull my tower in just a little bit from the base. The base is going to be the widest, so I wanted to bring it in just a little bit. So I ended up doing that. And as you can see, I kind of messed up on the inner circle just a little bit. I wasn't exactly counting where everything was going to go, but I fixed it up real quickly. And then from there, I just built up the walls even more. In a few moments, I'm going to destroy the bottom three layers of said walls. And then what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be building diagonally from the base walls that I've already made upwards to the new inner walls. So then once you've finished building your wall, what you're going to want to do is grab some wood planks. I ended up grabbing petrified oak because I thought that would look best above a cellar area. You can do another type of wood though. Also, I did end up putting lights in the cellar area of my tower, but you don't have to do that. You can just fill it in yourself. Depends on what you want to do, but this is just what I did. So I'm just going to fill in the floor, and then we're going to go from there. Alright, from here you're going to want to grab your door, and you're going to want to figure out where you want to put the door at. I put them facing inward, and then I also put some stairs on the outside just to lead up to the door. And then afterwards I went to go put a window above the, well, sort of a window above the door, but a window-ish thing above the door. And then I continued to build the walls up. From here, I ended up putting in clay. I know it switches between clay and andesite, but I really went with clay because I wanted some sort of bluish colored block to be the ring around, to separate the first floor from the second floor, and also to separate the second and third floors and everything else in between. Also, as you can see, I kind of moved the blocks inward a little bit, but that was to that I ended up taking and using between the second and the third floor. And then I just took some more blocks, and I ended up putting in a flooring for the second floor. And I also put up some lanterns so that it wasn't too dark within the building. Then what I did here is I took some spruce wood and those sea lanterns that I ended up putting down before. I just put 4 blocks of spruce there, and what I wanted to do was make it look like there was a tree growing straight through the tower. And then I end up putting a spiral staircase around said tree. So as you can see here, I used spruce slabs to make the staircase. I also kind of struggled with the shape of the staircase, but I think I eventually got into a good pattern that I ended up liking, and I just went building the stairs from there. Here I wanted to put in some lighting in the actual trunk, so I decided to use redstone lamps since they seem to be the ones that work best with a tree trunk and look the most natural. And then I just continued building up the stairs. Right here is basically where I decide to, instead of using cobblestone, actually using some stone bricks, and I think in the long run that ended up making my tower look a lot better than the cobblestone did initially. So for the second floor, I decided I wanted to put in glass panes for the windows. I initially did them 2 in width and 3 in height, if I remember correctly. And then I just continued building upwards, and then I ended up taking this circle in by 1 block, and then I went to move on to the 3rd floor. Here is where I replace the bricks above the windows with the stairs, and I think that makes the tower look a lot better, but that's just my opinion. You don't have to do that. And then I continue building upward to the 3rd floor. So after I make the 3rd floor, I make the floor for the 4th and final floor of this tower. And the 4th and final floor is basically going to be a secret floor for an enchanting table, some brewing stands, whatever you want to throw in there. I make the roof out of crimson tiles that you would normally get in the Nether, because that made for a good roof look. I also used some crimson stairs. As you can see right here, I pulled the tower out a little bit just to make it look a lot better before I added the crimson tiles for the roofing. And from there, I just finished up the roof, and then I started doing something else. before I ended up finishing the roof, I wanted to add some bookshelves within this room because again, I wanted it to be a secret room for an enchanting table and such. And then I finished up the roof, but then I went back down and I started working on the tree just to finish it. But that was after I finished up the roof with the stairs, just to make it look nice. So as you can see right here, I start finishing up the tree. I got startled by the creeper that randomly spawned inside the tower, but that's okay. I'm in creative mode, it's not like it's gonna hurt me. When I went to finish the tree, I also wanted to add some leaves, but because it was spruce wood that I used, I wanted to add some different leaves. I also put in some sea lanterns in the ceiling just to add a little bit extra light, and those would eventually get covered by the leaves, but not covered too much to where you can't see them. I added a few more lanterns within the trunk just before I finished that up. And I wanted to add some soul lanterns, but I don't think it ended up working out so well, so I ended up just sticking with the sea lanterns instead to give some extra light. About right here, I decided I wanted to add balconies on at least 3 sides of the tower. This was on the 3rd floor, so I ended up taking stairs and just making kind of balcony-ish looking things on the front of the tower, on the east and west sides, and the last side I just kind of left free. And then I grabbed some anvils to make it look like railing, and then I grabbed some of the blackstone that you get in the nether now. From there I put in some doors, and then I gave myself some barrier blocks so that I wouldn't end up falling off the edge of the railing. And I ended up using that barrier block later to finish up the rest of my village as well. But basically that is the tower. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to splash the bell icon, and I will catch you all on the next wave. Bye guys!